Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a body fat test because it's Monday, it's the beginning of the week, but also it's the end of June, so going into July I can start the whole month properly. It doesn't really matter really about what day of the week you start your diets on, but in your mind it's always good to start on a Monday, and if you start on a fresh month it means then you can forget about the last 6 months and concentrate on the next 6 months, concentrate on 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time, breaking down into little sections. So I think diet is more important than training really. If you want to get a fit body, a good body, a big body, muscly body, whatever your fitness goal, the diet part is probably it's easy to work out, easy to do. A man told me when I was in my bodybuilding days, if you want to lose more weight for next week, what do you think is easiest? Eating a bit less or training harder? And I always answered, it's always easier to eat less. So the diet is the most important part. So before I talk about anything to do with carbs, proteins, fats, you need to do a body fat test because everything's based on the body fat. What you'll see a lot of people doing is they'll recommend protein, carbs or fats or calories based on a body weight. So for example, if you're 100 kilograms, for example, they'll say 100 kilograms, you need to have this much protein. But if you're 10% or 20% or 30% body fat, actually your body isn't 100 kilograms, it's 90 or 80 or 70. So if you're feeding that 100 kilogram body, you could be having food for 30 kilogram too much. And over the days, weeks, months, years, that extra adds up. So you might be thinking, I'm on a diet, I've reduced my diet by 500 calories or so many calories each week, and I'm still not losing weight. It's because you're basing your diet off a 100 kilogram body weight, not off a 70 kilogram body weight. So it's just a waste of food, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, waste of effort, it's just wasting time. So really what you need to do is start the diet with a body fat test. So I go on here, there's another way of doing it, there's more scientific ways, but they're impossible to do because unless you live in a hospital or university, there's no way you're going to get a hold of this equipment. So if you read all the books and all the studies, mainly years ago they do underwater weighing. So what they do basically is a little swim pool, a little bath, and they'll literally weigh you outside of the water, and then they'll hook you up to a thing to lower you down in the water, and then they calculate how much water your body is taking up that size of. Basically, you know when you get in the bath, the water comes out up and then goes out the plug hole, so they can work out how much area and volume your body is, but they actually weigh you underwater as well. And it goes back from years ago. Somebody basically chopped open a dead body and they weighed the dead body. So they're basing it off loads of dead bodies and how much a dead body weighs, how much fat weighs, how much they know how much things weigh. So underwater, your body weight and you float, and on land you don't float. So that's how they work it out. But unless you've got one of these underwater weighing things, you can't do that yourself. And they're pretty nasty. You have to go underwater, you have to hold your breath, pinch your nose, goggles on under. And it's quite stressful if you're getting people watching you going underwater. Another way of doing it, which I did in university, was a bod pod. So a big massive machine. I think it costs like 10, 20 grand. You have to strip down into your bikini or your underwear. You get in the machine, and just like the water thing, it knows how much air is in the machine, the volume of the air in the machine. It knows then when you jump in it, it works out the area in the machine now. So it knows how big your body is. You weigh yourself before you get in, and then going off equations and maths that they've done off dead bodies, they know then that if your body is this size and you weigh this much, then you must have this much fat, because it knows how much muscle you got. No, it knows how much a 6 foot tall person's bones weigh on average. It knows how much your heart weighs and your lungs weigh, and so you're probably this much fat. But unless you've got these big machines, which you're never going to buy because they're huge, they cost a lot of money. I've only ever seen one in my life, so there's that machine. You're not going to do that either. Another one which is quite popular now in sports laboratories, and you can go to clinics where people will do it for you. There's a machine called a DEXA scan. I've used these ones once in university where we were just measuring the ankle, but it can scan your body. It's a bit like an MRI scan or a scan at a hospital, and then it can actually see in your body. But the downside of this is it's not very portable. It's very expensive. You've got to pay to go and use one if you do use one. So that's out of the question as well. So what you're down to really is skin fold calipers, the little pinchers. They're not very accurate really. You have to use the same trainer or the same tester person each week. Remember where you've measured each week. A little tiny error in the measurement can make your calculations way off. Also, I don't like using these because there's different calculations to work out your body fat. There's a way of using 3 points of your body, or 5 points, or 7 points. But you might have more body fat in a certain area, not in that area where the test is. So you might have your bum, your hips, your thighs, your calves, your neck, your hands. It's a very general guesswork. So that's out as well. They're not very good. You can buy really expensive metal ones, which have got a really good spring on them. But the ones I bought, I think you can get them for as cheap as 99p on Amazon. They're just plastic and they bend. They're not very good. So you can play around with the figures with that if you want to, and it doesn't come out too good. This machine, there was one in the first gym I ever used, and first gym I ever went to work at. So I saw one there. I used one in university. They're good for portableness. You can take it around, like a field testing it's called. You can take it to someone's house, take it to the gym, take it on holiday. You can take it to a hotel. So very portable. They're not cheap. The beginning cost of it is quite expensive. So most people won't buy one of these themselves. But once you've got it, the actual maintenance of it is very easy. You've got to buy these stickers, which you use 4 every time. You could buy a pack of 100 off Amazon quite cheap. A notepad. This is a special notepad, but obviously you can use any notepad. And that's it. Batteries. So you might have seen one of these before. What it is, there's different makes as well, different brands, but it's a body composition machine. So what you do, basically you stick these electric wires, one on your hand, one on your foot. You can't feel it, but it sends a little electric shock current around your body. You don't feel nothing. You don't feel any shock. But just like with the water, somebody's calculated this and put the maths inside it, the equations and all the maths. You haven't got to work anything out. You haven't got to do anything. It knows the resistance of electricity around your body. I don't know how it works it out. I don't know how they programmed it, but somebody somewhere knows if you put electricity through fat, or electricity through muscle, or electricity through bone, basically the time it takes to travel through it is different for different parts of the body. And basically the body's made up of water. So if your body's got loads of water in it, the muscles, it should flow through quite fast. If it's got fat, well then it'll be a bit slower. That's basically what it does. So this is why there is instructions involved where the day before you're not supposed to drink a lot of alcohol because that will dehydrate you more than what you really are. Don't drink really caffeine drinks, again, because you'll be a bit dehydrated. Don't exercise or go really sweating yourself in the swimming pool or sauna, jacuzzi, things a little bit before it. So if you're going to do this test like I do, I always weigh myself first thing in the morning. And if I'm going to do the test, I try and do it first thing in the morning as well. Because if you're going to weigh yourself 100 kilograms, but you have your breakfast first, then that might make you 101 kilogram. And the water might make the maths involved out. If you've been to the gym and you've sweated a bit, You might make yourself 98 kilograms, but you're not really 98 kilograms. You should be 100. So have a good night's sleep. It says in the instructions, good night's sleep, no caffeine, no alcohol, no exercise, normally hydrated. So don't drink a whole litre of water to make yourself more hydrated, because even though you'll have more water in the body will be heavier anyway, so it won't work out. You can't cheat it like that. So I'm prepared for this now. I've done everything already, so I don't need to show you all the little things I've done already. But what I've done is I've been in the bathroom and weighing scales. So I weighed myself first thing in the morning after the toilet, but I haven't had anything to drink yet. So no coffee, no water, a little tiny sip I've had just to talk, but no water, no food. I've taken my watch off. I'm not sure if it will make a difference, but it might make a difference. If you've got electric battery on here, it might, because the GPS watch I'm using does the heart rate and things. I'm not sure. I'd take a watch off if you could, if it's an electric battery watch. Make sure your pockets are empty, you haven't got your phone in your pocket, so no electronics. I weighed myself. This morning I'm 181 centimeters tall. I always am. You'll actually be a bit shorter at night time because your body does shrink a little bit during the day, and then you had a nice sleep. So I'm 181 centimeters. My age, the date, body weight. I weigh myself in pounds. Now the machine, you can put it into pounds or stones or kilograms. But I work myself in pounds just because I can see small changes of weight easier in pounds than in kilograms. So 109.2. I always add the 0.2 on. If you're talking in kilograms, that's 85.8. That actually makes my BMI 26 something. So I am overweight. Not over fat, but I'm overweight for what's recommended. I've ticked on here a medium activity level. I've done 2 runs this week, but since then I've done no exercise since May. So you could probably call that low exercise, but I am moving around. I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm not sitting down doing nothing. I do move around and decorating and doing little bits. So I'm medium active. I'm not high. I'm not very high. I'm not doing a lot of exercise at the moment. So I'll stick myself down as medium. That's only used for, at the end, the machine will calculate my calories, what it thinks I should have. I'll talk about that later on, but I'll ignore that anyway. I don't go off the machine's calories, but you could do if you wanted to. If it says 2,500 calories, and then based off your body fat, each week it'll change. So that's that ready. Just put it on the side. All I need that for after is just to take the measurements. But the machine will store it anyway. So there's no rush. You haven't got to write it down quick. You've got plenty of time to write it down, but it does store it on the machine as well. Pen's ready. Like I said, you've got these stickers. You need 4. One goes on the hand, one goes on the wrist. It's got a picture here where it goes. So number 1 goes behind the knuckle on the middle finger, just there. Number 2 goes on the wrist behind the ulnar head, so that goes on there. Number 3 is on the foot behind the second toe. Number 4 goes on the ankle in between the medial and lateral bones on the ankle. If you've got really hairy ankles and really hairy feet and toes, you might want to shave a little bit just so the stickers stick on the skin. The contact, if you've got really hairy gorilla arms, might not allow the machine to work properly. I've saved the page here for a quick guideline for the test. So you must lie down on the supine position, which means on your back facing up. No parts of the body should be touching one another. So I've left one sock on. I've taken one sock off because of the stickers. You could do it in trousers, but my lower legs aren't going to touch together anyway. Upper body, if you're wearing a bikini, your thighs might touch together. So make sure you spread your legs apart a little bit. I keep my t-shirt on just so my arms don't touch on my body. So you'd be in this sort of position anyway. Attach the crocodile clips on the wires to the stickers. I'll do that in a minute. There's a black and a red. The black goes at the top, red at the bottom. On the foot, black goes at the top, red at the bottom. Switch on the machine. You put in the accurate data. I've already done it already. My height and my weight are already in there ready. So all I got to do is go through the menu and press start. You're supposed to be in the lying down position for 4 to 5 minutes. I'm not going to do that on the video because I've been sitting down for 4 to 5 minutes. Basically, if you're moving around, your body's pumping blood around the body and liquid and things around the body. So you need to stay still just so the body can just normalize itself. All the blood and the water can just stay level. Food in the body's not going to be bouncing around. I'm sitting down, not lying down, but it's not too bad. I'm not running around the room and then doing it. So I'll lie down for a second, a minute. You press enter on the machine. The results are in LCD in 3 or 4 seconds. Disconnect the crocodile clips, remove the electrodes, and that's it. What the machine will do is give me loads of readings, and it'll say recommended body weight and recommended range. If you read the instruction book, it tells you how it works that out. It doesn't say you should be 10 stone. It says, I can't remember word for word, but if you're a certain height, it says your body weight should be between these two body weights. And it knows that from your body fat percentage, and it tells you what you should be and what you should be. But when I read my readings in a minute, don't pay too much attention to what it says you should be. It's not scary like that. It's in the instruction book, it explains why it says these numbers. But all I do is if I'm 10 stone or 100 kilograms and I'm 10% body weight, I just use that number to work out my calories myself. I don't really listen to the machine saying how many calories it should have or what body weight it should be. I just use it for the body fat percentage. So what I'll do, I'll get in a more lying down position. Like I said, these wires, the black one goes on the top, the red one on the bottom. I try not to mix the wires up and tangle the wires up, just in case the electricity goes through and touches them. Not for electric shock reasons, but it might give a false reading. I've already put the data in the machine. So I'm lying down. You're supposed to put your feet, well, your legs straight. Make sure your legs aren't touching. Arms to the side, pointing outwards. Lie down. I put the pillow over there so I'm not putting my head up because it thinks I'm 181 centimeters tall. So if I shrivel up and I don't lie down straight, it might not work right. It is true, you can fake this machine by going in different body positions. I've done it before. If I press this button 10 times, the machine will work out your body fat within 1 or 2 percentage different. So like I said, I've been sitting down now for a while so I can just press play. I don't need to lie down for 5 minutes. So turn the machine on. This is going to be test number 834. So I press yes. A male, 41 years old, 181 centimeters, 189.2 pounds, medium activity. It says connect electrodes. So then when I press enter again, it'll say starting, and then you haven't got to do anything, it'll just bleep, and then it'll bleep when it's done. So I don't really want to look at the screen because I need to make sure I'm lying down, relaxed. And that was it. It says fat 12.5. So I'll just do it a few times because it does change a little bit. So 12.5 for the first time. But you have to go through all the menu again to just collect outflows. So 12.5. 12.2. So he does change. I'll do about 5 times because it's free. It only takes a couple of seconds. It's 12.1. It might be because I've just lied down. So my body's just adjusting the water level, the food, the blood is just leveling down in the body. So it might make like a few different percentage difference. .1. It doesn't matter if you hold your breath. It doesn't matter if you're closing your eyes. It's just lying down still. Now, I'm not going to cheat by closing my legs or closing my arms. This is a position I'm going to do every week. .1. So I've had .1 now a couple of times. So I think that's probably what we're going to get. 12.0. Right. 12.2. I want to try and get, but I know it's cheat mode. I've seen a 12.0, so let's try and go for 12.0. 12.1. 12.1. Now, 0.1 is hardly anything really. 12.1. 12.2. It's going up. But 0.2 is hardly anything, so it's not really going to make a difference. 12.1. 've done that many times now, I forgot where the 12.0 was. Right. Right. So I stopped there because all the results have become the same now. 12.2, 12.1, 12.0. So all I do now, take the clips off. Like you can see then, it's painless. You can't feel anything. But if you do move, you do talk, you do touch your body on the sides, it will make the readings wrong. As you can see, even just sitting lying still then, it changes between 12.0 and 12.2. So if you had food, water, you could play around with it and tip your head up, cheat and put your legs together. You could change your body fat percentage by a couple of proper percentages. What then I'll do is, right down here, I just want to find, if I can, the one that said 12.0. So when you turn the machine off, you can go into recall mode, and you can see different ones. So what's the first one? 843 is about number 45. No, it wasn't that one. This is why I should have wrote down the number really of all the tests, but I did so many, I don't know which number was which. So now we've got to manually go through them. 12.2, 12.1. I think I found it. Right, I'll write down the number in. So it's number 839. Okay, so I'll talk through the results here and what I think about the results, what I'm going to use the results for. You don't need to know all these numbers, but this is what I do. So it's got here number 839. Next page is male, age 41, 181 centimeters, 189.2 pounds. Activity medium. It says the fat is 12%. So I'll write down here 12% body fat, 12.0% body fat. And it says I should be between 14 and 20%. So I think if I go in the book, it might say a table, and I'm sure it does, where 0 to 6%, about that is dangerously low. You should have at least 6% body fat. You need body fat just to keep your body warm. Your brain works off fat. Your organs need fat for protection and health. So you can't really go below 6. 6 to probably the 14% is based off like a high training athlete. So 12% is probably in a really good low range. Everybody else should be really happy to be 12%. 14 to 20 is probably the range of health. So I'm not sure if it's got a table in there. And then 20 to 25 will probably be a bit above health. Then 25 to 30 will be a bit fatter. And then there's different categories of obese, morbidly obese 1, 2, 3 or something like that. So when it says 14 to 20, on the next page, when it says fat weight, it'll work out then what 14% of 189 pounds is and what 20% of 189 pounds is. And then that'll tell me then my fat weight should be between this and this. The next page is, so body fat. The fat of my body is 22.7 pounds. 14 to 20% would have been 29 pounds to 40 pounds for the health. So I got 23 pounds, but that's 6 pounds under what's recommended. So I could afford to be 195 pounds body fat and still be in the good zone. I could afford to be 195 pounds total body weight and still be on the good scale. Lean, all that's done is it says obviously 100 minus 12% is 88%. So I'm 88.0% body fat. It says you should be between 80 and 86. I keep making my words wrong because I'm talking and writing at the same time. I'm 88% lean. It should be between 80 and 86% lean. All that's done is just 100 minus 20 is 80. 100 minus 14 is 86. So that's what's going off. Now it's just my lean weight, obviously 189.2 pounds minus the 22.7 pounds of fat it says I am. That means then I'm 166 pounds. Wrote that in the wrong box. 166.4 pounds. Recommends then 161 to 172 pounds. Total 189.2. Like I said, if I was 14 to 20%, that means then I could be 194 pounds to 207 pounds. Water, it says I'm 65.4% hydrated. And it should be 55 to 65. I have done this before when I'm really, really dehydrated and the numbers don't really change too much. So I don't really listen to the water weight. I could probably just take that off and don't write it down. But 65% water means I'm 56 litres water weight. So 40, I could be 47 to 56. What you could do, it's got on here on my notebook, a dry weight. So if you work your body weight in kilograms, 85.8 kilograms, minus the total water is 56. That'll then give you a lean weight. The machine doesn't do that for you, so you got to calculate yourself, but I don't really do that. That'll give you what your body weight is after all the water. So what you could do is each week you could say, this is my total weight. I'm 100 kilograms. I'm 20% fat, so I'm actually only 80 kilograms. Out of that 80 kilograms, 60 kilograms is water, or water as in muscle and stuff like that. So that means 20 is solid bones and things that aren't water. And then you can see then next week does that change, because that's then the dry weight without any water. But it's just another figure what you could work out as. It now says my basal metabolic rate. So this is the amount of calories my body needs just to stay alive. everyone says 2,500 for a male. Well, my basal metabolic rate is 2156. I'll write that down. It doesn't say a box in here. It does. 2156 kilocalories. BMR to body weight is 11.4 calories per pound. I don't use that. Estimated average required. Now, it knows my basal metabolic rate is 2156. It knows I'm medium activity. So, based on a 24-hour period of sleeping and walking and working and a bit of exercise, it says I should have 3,450 calories. I think that's quite a lot. Some people think if you eat more, you burn more. I'm not sure if my diet is so strict that I'm always on a sponge, and every time I have more calories, my body sucks it up too much. And maybe if I ate more calories for a while, my body would get used to it, and then eventually I wouldn't put on weight. But if I had 3,500 calories, I think I would put weight on. BMI, like I said, that's right, 26.2 it says here. It should be between 20 and 25 for the healthy zone. You don't need to write this, but it says impedance. That's just to check the machine's working properly. You can calibrate the machine, make sure the machine's not playing funny buggers. So all I do now is go to the computer, really. That's the best place I do it. I used to have all my data all stored in laptops, but I've had about 5 different laptops by now. So I'll take this data to the computer. I weigh myself in pounds every morning, but then I calculate what that is into kilograms, just because the carbs, protein, fats are calculated from the kilograms. All I need to know is 12% body fat. So 12% minus that from the body weight. So actually, I'm not 189 pounds, I'm 166.4 pounds. So that's all I need to know. I don't need to know all these other numbers. I don't really need to know how much water weight I am. I'll keep an eye on that next week to make sure I'm hydrated. And if the figure says wildly different numbers than this week, it could be that I'm dehydrated or overly hydrated. Total body water weight, I won't monitor that too much. I don't really listen to calories because I'll do it myself. BMI, I know what that is. It's just a waste of time. So I'm not going to listen to recommended body weights because I'll do my own body weight. But what I could do is I could do that myself. If I'm 189 pounds now, at 12% body fat, and like I said, I can only go down to 6% body fat. After that is dangerous. I can work out then what's the least body weight I can go down to. So if I'm 166 lean now, I can work out what the least body weight is. So I can use that number for a goal purpose. I'll say, right, and if I'm 189 pounds now, I can afford to lose a couple of pounds, and if I gain a bit of muscle, so I think in a few weeks' time I could be this body weight or this body weight. So I'll keep this page out now. I'll put my notebook and instructions away. I've got a big massive pile here of all old tests. 2023, 2022, that goes back to 190.8 pounds 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I was 12% body fat today. I was 15% body fat last time. So I've lost 1 pound and I'm 3% body fat better. So a bit of a long video. That's demonstrating how to do a body fat test, what the results are, what you need to do the test. But then I'll make another video actually talking about what I've come up with. what calories I'm going to have, what protein, fats and carbs, how I work them out. But the first thing you need to do is, like I said, do the test. So I'll keep that paper out handy. Now I can eat, now I can drink, now I can go about my day. I'm not going to train now. I might be doing a weight training session this afternoon, maybe a run this evening, but today I've got a few jobs to do, so I can go on my day now. I'll do my calories later on because I'm going to eat now, work out my diet starting from tomorrow onwards. Like I said, tomorrow's July the 1st. So then, I know it's Monday today. I'll start the diet on Tuesday. But at least now I've got something in the bag. I got something to work off. I got something to move forward. It's going to take a few weeks for it to, well, I'll tell you in the diet video, but it takes a couple of weeks to get used to your diet and play around with the numbers and work it out to get it all functioning properly. But that's what we're up to today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.